When the mafia does it, it's called extortion. When corporations do it, it's called price gouging. But when the billion-dollar banking giants, credit card companies, bottom-feeding collection agencies, and credit bureaus do it, it's just business as usual. It happened in 2008 when they confiscated over $700 billion worth of your money to bail themselves out after the housing crisis, while the foreclosures of hundreds of thousands of homes left millions of Americans out in the streets left to fend for themselves. And right now, if you are one of the 176 million Americans with a credit score below 700, whether you know it or not, it's happening to you. Because even though you don't know it yet, right now, you, yes, you, have become a victim of the greatest.
Thousands, millions of Americans into a debt that they'll never reach out of.
A businessman who got out from under $65,000 in debt.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
If you're swimming in credit card debt, the last thing you might want to hear this morning is your minimum payment is going up.
Conspiracy.
Having bad credit makes it hard to do things like buy a home or get a loan. But did you know it can also cost you a job?
It turns out the bad credit rating that often comes with unemployment can keep folks from landing a new job.
Never told.
This phone call was made by a debt collector to a laid-off executive who had fallen behind on his car payment.
And if you refuse to answer the door to me, I guarantee you I will wake up every neighbor in your entire building. Okay, I'll let everybody know you don't know how to pay your bill.
After Bank of America reported that 26-year-old Alan Jones had an overdue credit card bill of $81, its debt collectors went on the attack with a series of obscene, racist messages left on his phone.
A conspiracy designed to legally steal from you, keep you drowning in debt, and make sure no matter what you do, no matter how many hours you work, how hard you try, you will never, ever escape the personal financial hell these vicious banks and credit card companies have abused you and thrown you into. And if you or someone you know has ever had credit problems, been in collections, defaulted on school loans, or even filed bankruptcy in the past, then this will be the most important video you've ever seen. So lock the door, X out of Facebook, close all distractions, and pay very close attention, because you just landed on the only page on the entire internet that's going to reveal how you can finally stop all collection calls, letters, and harassment. Legally eliminate your negatives, including charge-offs, student loans, liens, judgments, and bankruptcies. And even get yourself that brand new car, new home, or finally take that much-needed vacation of your dreams you've always wanted. Sound like a stretch? I get it. I don't blame you for being skeptical right now. But in just a second, you're going to see undeniable proof of people who had much, much worse credit than you, who are now driving their dream cars and living the lives they've always wanted. And when you watch the short presentation to the very end, you're going to discover a simple but powerful credit secret that could soon have you getting new pre-approved credit card offers in the mail, buying a new home without worrying about qualifying for a mortgage, finding low-interest financing for cars and boats readily available to you, and finally eliminating all your credit problems easily, permanently, and faster than you ever thought possible. Like Amy M., whose score went up 165 points in only 30 days using this secret. Or Brian T., who wrote in saying, quote, $13K in student loans removed from phase 1. My lowest score went up 100 points in the last week and a half. Every student loan I've ever had, including the federal ones owed to the government, came off. Or Allison, who went from 588 to 781 in only 90 days and was able to finance the car of her dreams because of it. And in a moment, you're going to see how you can use this credit secret too. You see, the reason this is possible is because of a little-known legal loophole in the credit system that can never be closed. And once you understand what it is and how to use it to your advantage, you'll be able to finally say goodbye to your credit problems once and for all. My name's Jay Hannon, and what I'm about to share with you is something I'm not proud of. Because not long ago, I found myself sitting in a cubicle 8 hours a day for 5 awful years, deep inside the bottom-feeding, shark-infested waters of the credit industry. When I started, I had no idea what I'd gotten into. And I'm sad to say, at the time, I felt like it was my only option. I know that's no excuse, but as you and I both know, well-paying jobs are hard to come by. I had brainwashed myself into believing this was okay because it was putting food on my family's table. But I was never prepared for what I would witness over the next 5 years. Because while I was on the inside, I saw the dark side of this scandalous industry firsthand. I had a front row seat for the whole thing. All the low-down, dirty tricks designed to separate people like you and me from our hard-earned money. I learned them all. How they call you 5 times a day, every day, relentlessly stalking you at home and at work, guilting you mercilessly, making you believe you're a bad person, never caring about the hardships you've faced or the trials and tribulations you've gone through. I've witnessed some of the worst, most despicable things you could ever imagine, ranging from bad to flat-out illegal. One time, on my lunch break, I was eating and reading the paper. I overheard one of these scumbags mention how he has stooped so low, he went as far as tormenting his prey in person, even destroying private property, knocking on the neighbors' doors at all hours of the night. I didn't have any friends there. These telephone tough guys are the last kind of people I'd ever want to associate with. Some of them were even ex-convicts. I tell you, it was ugly. It makes me sick just even thinking about it. And I don't blame you if you hate me. I hated myself at the time, too. And what pains me the most every single day is, even though I never, ever participated in any of these terrible, unethical, and illegal practices, I didn't do anything to stop it either. And I'm ashamed to say that it took me 5 years to finally say, enough is enough. You see, this video was never supposed to exist, because what I'm about to expose could turn the entire $95 billion credit industry upside down. When I was on the inside, I learned every single credit loophole, workaround, and trick ever invented. Some well-known, and others, they would do anything to keep secret. And as I was recording this video, getting ready to expose these tricks to easily, legally, and permanently remove your negatives, stopping all the calls and raising your credit score up to 165 points in only 30 days, I couldn't help but think about mine and my family's safety. I know it sounds crazy, but when you ruffle the feathers of wealthy, powerful, corrupt corporate giants who have billions of dollars on the line, bad things can happen. They can't stand whistleblowers, and they do anything to keep what I'm about to show you from getting in the hands of people like you, who fund their multi-million-dollar bonuses every year. But I don't care, because this is something that's well worth the risk. This needs to be exposed. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of, and if I don't help you, no one will. You see, I knew I had to put this out there to try and make up for my previous inaction, because the real reason you're in debt right now is absolutely 100% not your fault. And you're not alone. And while you may think all of this is not affecting you right now in your day-to-day life, or if you're screening your calls, throwing away their demand letters, thinking these things will never come back to haunt you, then I have to warn you, you are playing with fire. And if you don't do something about it right now, you'll soon discover those negative marks on your credit report will burn you in every single area of your life. Because, of course, everyone knows bad credit will force you to pay higher payments, interest rates, and even get you denied for car or home loan. But did you also know it can keep you from getting a job? My own brother recently made it to a final interview for a truck driving job with a big-name beer distributor. His salary would jump from $40,000 to $60,000 a year. This meant everything to him, because it would finally allow him to save enough money for his 3-year-old daughter, Madison, to one day go to college. But all of a sudden, one morning, I woke up to a call from him. He was literally sobbing. I'd never heard my brother cry, not in the entire 34 years he's been alive. Something had to be very wrong. When he calmed down, he began to tell me how the company had run a credit check on him, and his score came back as a 644. They said this not only showed a lack of responsibility, but it would cost them more to hire him than the next guy because they would have to pay higher insurance premiums for him to drive their truck. Imagine looking into the innocent faces of your children and having to tell them why they can't go to college, or why you can't get them to a dentist or doctor, or why you have to move, or where, all because of something you could have easily fixed in advance, if only you knew how. The bottom line is, even if you think your credit problem isn't hurting you now, by ignoring it, you are unknowingly putting yourself and your future in danger. The question is not if this is going to affect you. It's only a matter of when. And if you don't do something to escape this critical situation right now, the next time you try, it could be too late. The good news is, since you were lucky enough to land on this page today, and since you've made it this far, it's clear to me you're committed to finally waking up from this horrible credit nightmare. I'm going to share with you a secret so powerful, your credit will never have to be a problem for you, ever again, no matter how bad your history is. You see, after I escaped the credit industry, I got a job in sales working for an online e-commerce company. A few months after I started there, the company flew me out to a conference in San Diego, California. One night while I was there, I got to talk with another sales rep at the hotel lobby bar. His name was Scott Hilton. And as we were there chatting and having a few drinks, the topic of my previous job came up. We were a bit tipsy now, and Scott started telling me something he probably wouldn't normally tell a total stranger. What I didn't know at the time was that this very conversation would change both our lives and the lives of thousands of others forever, including yours. He told me the story of how he had moved from Seattle to Hollywood with hopes of becoming an actor. He went to auditions all day, took acting classes at night, but it never worked out as he planned. He couldn't land a role. And during this time, he ran out of money. He was living on his credit cards. So he was forced to give up his dream of becoming an actor and get this sales job. The problem was, when the bills came due, there wasn't enough money to pay off the balances he had racked up. So he wound up getting deep in debt, and many of his accounts had gone to collections. He was living paycheck to paycheck and trying to pay everything off, but the balances just weren't going down no matter what he tried. Every time he made a payment, they'd pile on more fees and interest charges. All of the hidden fees that were originally buried in small print were now larger than life. It was literally killing him to work so hard and be under so much stress. His anxiety got to the point where he could barely even go out in public anymore because his nerves were so shot. Forced into taking all sorts of depression and anxiety medication, Scott was on the verge of a major breakdown. $52,000 in the hole, and every penny he made was being funneled to these billion-dollar banks who couldn't care less about him or his situation. They just wanted their money, and they wanted it now. These arrogant banksters making billions, just bleeding people like you, me, and Scott dry of all of our hard-earned cash, robbing us of our livelihoods. While they ride around in limousines wearing $3,000 suits, eating at fancy restaurants every night, all paid for by money yanked right out of our pockets and paychecks. And what do we get? What do we get for paying their way to living the high life? Harassing phone calls and letters threatening to freeze our assets, that's what. Night sweats wondering how we're going to stretch the paycheck to cover the rent this month. High blood pressure from all the frustration and stress. Constant arguments with our spouses over money. Our own private hell. That's what we get. And Scott had been pushed to the brink of a financial cliff and was about to throw himself over the edge. The pressure was just too much for him, having all this hanging over his head day after day. So he did the only thing he thought he could do. He went online and found a bankruptcy lawyer, and he had an appointment with him the following week. Wait, don't do that just yet, I told him. I felt awful. I knew his pain. I had talked to hundreds of working-class people just like him over the years who were just trying to get by. And my cold, scripted answer to their pleas was, go get your checkbook. But when this opportunity presented itself, I knew it was the universe offering me a chance to redeem myself. I knew I must help Scott get out of this desperate situation his creditors had forced him into. I told him to call me when he got home from the conference, and I'd show him a safe and 100% legal credit secret almost no one who isn't in the credit industry knows, that can clean up every single negative mark in your credit report and raise your scores up to 165 points in less than 30 days, without filing bankruptcy and ruining your credit for the next 10 years, paying an outrageous fee to some law office to handle your debts for you, putting your faith in some fly-by-night credit repair service who might even ruin your credit for life or even get you sued, talking to any creditors or collectors on the phone yourself, having to know anything about credit laws or anything having to do with them. I call it my smart money secret. And not only is it completely safe, but it's 100% legal. It has nothing to do with cheating, lying, or doing anything shady. And it's different than anything you've ever seen or tried before. I'm going to show you how you can use my secret for yourself to get rid of charge-offs, late payments, liens, judgments, score-crushing inquiries, even past bankruptcy, and raise your credit score so high you'll soon have letters filling your mailbox from companies begging to give you financing for anything you desire at rates lower than you've ever seen before. You will laugh out loud when you see the new low-interest credit card offers coming in from the same companies you owe right now. You see, this smart money secret is based on a loophole within how the credit system was designed. A loophole that can't ever be closed because it actually takes the fact that these credit companies are so big and so powerful and turns it around in your favor, allowing you to use it against them to wipe your credit clean faster than you ever thought possible. And like I said, it's all 100% legal and ethical. Here's exactly how it works and why you've never heard of this before. Buried in the volumes upon volumes of laws within our legal system, there are two little known but very important federal regulations most people don't know about. They are the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA, and the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA. These laws are hundreds and hundreds of pages long, all full of complicated, confusing legal mumbo-jumbo even a seasoned attorney could barely understand. But not long ago, some credit industry insiders discovered something shocking. A loophole within the laws which can allow you to eliminate your negatives permanently and raise your credit score faster and easier than ever. What was this loophole? Well, you see, what they found buried within the pages of these two laws is quite possibly the most powerful 11-word phrase ever spoken. These 11 words, when used in exactly the right way, activate a powerful credit protection mechanism that can instantly stop all the harassing phone calls and rapidly melt away all the bad marks on your report. All you have to do is use these 11 words correctly, and you can literally free yourself from the shackles of bad credit forever. No matter what you've heard about credit repair in the past, I can guarantee you it had nothing to do with these magical 11 words. Because until now, The secret was known only by a very small group of people on the inside, those who have seen behind the curtain of the credit industry. The best part is anyone can use it, no matter how bad your credit is, even if you have liens, judgments, charge-offs, late payments, and even if you've had past bankruptcy. This is a proven legal loophole that can never be fixed. And these banks, credit card companies, and bureaus would do just about anything to keep this whole thing a secret. But all that ends today. Because, you see, about a week after I got back from the conference, Scott gave me a call and asked me to show him how all this worked. At first, he was skeptical, which I totally understood. We've all been told by so-called credit help experts they can fix our credit. That is, if you pay them a hefty fee. But the reality is, most of those companies are nothing but liars and scam artists. Many of them were exposed in the lawsuits filed by West Virginia and several other states against national law firms and attorneys engaged in debt settlement work. But you see, this smart money secret is nothing like that. And it's completely above board. So over the next 60 minutes on the phone, I laid out my method for Scott as he took down a few pages of notes. He was shocked at how simple it seemed, which made him even more skeptical. Just try it out, I told him. You're about to meet with a bankruptcy lawyer and ruin the next 10 years of your financial life. What have you got to lose? Well, he couldn't argue with that. So over the next 30 days, he did exactly as I told him. He kept me updated on his progress via email. Then one day, my phone rang. I cannot believe it. Sure enough, it was him, sounding happier than I'd ever heard him. I got 12 negative accounts completely removed, every single one of them. I can't believe it happened so fast. One company even sent me a $1,000 check and an apology letter. I was stunned. I knew this would work to get negatives removed. But a check and an apology? This was more powerful than I thought. Then he said, I just got my girlfriend started on this too. Her credit is even worse than mine. I told him to keep me updated and wished him luck. Then one morning I logged into my Facebook and I saw that Scott had added me as a friend and sent me a message. There wasn't any text, just this picture. It was Scott's girlfriend, Allison, the same one he told me had even worse credit than he did, proudly standing next to her brand new Range Rover and a brand new Maserati. I couldn't believe it. I called him up right away. I had to get the full story. Yeah, man, he said. I don't think you really know the power of that credit thing you showed me. Alice and I started using it, and it was working really well to remove all the negatives. Her score went from 588 to a whopping 781 in only 90 days. But seeing how well this worked, they decided, why not try their luck getting some new cars and financed with their new squeaky clean credit? So they went to the dealership, and sure enough, it worked. They were able to get a 4.9 interest rate on a Tier 1 loan, and thanks to this loophole, they each bought the car of their dreams in the very same week. Upon hearing this, my jaw nearly dropped to the floor. I knew this secret was good, but I had no idea it had this kind of power. And I was amazed at not only how well it worked, but how fast it had worked for them. I mean, we're talking about a matter of only 12 weeks here. 588 to 781 it was incredible. And from that, we learned this powerful smart money secret could not only erase your delinquent debts and clean up your past credit history, but this amazing secret can even enable you to start finally buying yourself the things you've always wanted. Finally treating yourself to the little luxuries in life. Giving yourself gifts you desire and deserve. The most important of these gifts being freedom. Freedom from harassing phone calls and the stress of being buried up to your eyeballs in debt you would never be able to pay off. Freedom to get the absolute best interest rates and the best credit terms on anything you buy. And finally becoming a member of the small elite group of people in this world who don't have to worry about crippling debt and who will never be a slave to the greedy, bottom-feeding banksters ever again. And before Scott and I hung up on the phone that day, he had said something that wound up being the very reason you are here watching this video right now. He said, everyone who has bad credit or debt needs to learn this trick. And I knew he was right, which is why I recorded this presentation. For you. Because Scott and I have now joined forces and made it our life's mission to show as many people as possible how to finally take control of their credit, raise their scores higher than they've ever been before, and finally get revenge on the corporate fat cat bankers who have kept us broke and desperate for so long. But I'm honestly not sure how long this video will be left online. What we're exposing here can get us in serious hot water with some very powerful people. People who could make websites like this one disappear overnight. I'm a little worried they may come after us. Because by teaching this secret, we're taking the money out of their pockets and putting it back into yours, where it should have stayed all along. The only reason it didn't is because you never knew how. But that all ends today. I can't keep this video up long or I'll always be looking over my shoulder. But when Scott told me everyone had to see this, I knew he was right. And I knew we needed to be the ones responsible for making it happen. We had to get it out to the largest audience we possibly could. That's the only way it would make a big enough impact, by hitting these greedy bankers where it hurts, right in the pocketbook. I also knew we needed to do it fast before something happens and this video gets banned or taken down, or worse. And you see, we really wanted to be able to offer this information for free, too. We tried everything we could to make it happen. But because of all the costs involved in setting this website up and getting it out to the most people we could, plus knowing we need to save up for a small emergency fund in case the big credit companies come after us, doing it for free just wasn't possible. So we came up with the next best thing. I mean, when you consider this information you're about to learn can literally wipe away thousands of dollars worth of debt from your credit report and raise your score significantly, which will save you thousands more in the future, I don't think it would be unreasonable for us to charge hundreds of dollars for it. But since Scott and I want as many people as possible to be able to use this and get the same kind of results for themselves, we are giving it away for the lowest amount possible that will still allow us to keep this website up and running and helping people. Here's how it works. We've compiled this smart money secret into a comprehensive guide where we lay it all out in a simple set of easy-to-follow, step-by-step instructions. This guide shows you exactly how you can start using this loophole to begin fixing your credit as soon as 5 minutes from right now. You don't need to know anything about banking or credit reports or credit scores to use it. There's nothing complicated about it at all. The guide's laid out in a way that makes it simple to execute this proven smart money secret. All you have to do is follow the instructions inside, and before long, you'll see your credit score increasing as those negative marks begin to completely vanish from your record. We've tested this out initially by sharing it with some of our family members. Then we decided to send it to a few close friends on Facebook who tried it out right away, and the results have been nothing short of incredible. We've had a 100% success rate so far in our test group. Most people report dramatic results within weeks, and we've received more heartfelt thank you messages than I can even count. But listen, don't take my word for it. Listen to what others are saying about this breakthrough system.
Purchased Credit Secrets back in February of 2015.
Follow steps in the Credit Secret Guide. I was able to remove almost all of my negative accounts.
I began with a score that ranged between 500 and 510.
First of all, since I started the program, I've dropped 7 collection accounts from my credit report, which is
within 90 days. All of my accounts with collection agencies were removed, with the exception of one.
I had to do something about it. So after using Credit Secret in the past 90 days, I've been able to remove all 12 negative accounts on my credit report, and now my score is a 747. I mean, I really can't.
I was able to take my credit score, which was a 399, and raise it up 151 points.
I put the Credit Secrets program to use, and in the first 30 days, I was able to get 5 of the collection accounts removed, as well as the judgment, and my score shot up to just over 600.
The story I have to tell you is my Equifax score. It went from 532, and that was on October 14th, up to 633 by December the 3rd, which is a jump of 101 points just from that one alone. The other one,
8 negative accounts, including student loans, and now her score is over 730. I mean, this is a real blessing, and I just want to tell all my family and friends now that they can use information to help improve their credit score. So if you're looking at this page right now,
and I want you to be our next success story. Also, when you grab your copy of the Smart Money Secret today, Scott and I are going to do absolutely everything in our power to make sure you achieve your goals in the fastest, easiest, and most efficient way possible, which is why we are also including free bonus number 1, how Scott and Allison not only fixed their credit, but financed 2 of their dream cars within 90 days of getting started with this system. In this exclusive 60-minute webinar training, you'll discover how you can follow in Scott's footsteps and start living the life you truly deserve in the fastest time possible. Scott will walk you step by step through exactly how, using the Smart Money Secret, he and his girlfriend, now wife, were able to go from a combined $94,000 in debt to becoming debt-free and driving their dream cars without having to make a single extra dollar in income. This exclusive training can save you thousands and set you up to create the life of your dreams. And it's yours absolutely free today when you grab your copy of the Smart Money Secret right now. But that's not all. If you act fast, you're also going to receive free bonus number 2, the exact 3-step letter sequence that can raise your credit score up to 165 points in less than 30 days. This is a done-for-you set of tested and proven letters you'll send to the people we tell you to remove your negatives and raise your credit score. They've already been written for you and already contain the special 11-word phrase we talked about earlier, so you never have to worry about what to say. All you have to do is fill in the blanks, like your name, and send them out. Within weeks, you'll begin to see the negatives dropping off your credit report and watching your scores rise. These letters have been used to successfully remove charge-offs, late payments, delinquent lines of credit, tax liens, judgments, student loans, and even a past bankruptcy. These priceless letters are not available for sale anywhere, but today you get them absolutely free when you grab access to your Smart Money Secret. But that's not all. You see, because I want you to get every ounce of help and support you need when using this revolutionary proven credit solution, you're also getting Free bonus number 3. 30 days free access into our world-renowned Smart Money Club. The Smart Money Club is like nothing that's ever been created before. It's designed to not only support you and answer all your questions while you clean up your credit, but to help you make all the extra money you're about to have work even harder for you. First, you'll have the option of being invited to join our private Facebook group. This group is active and full of members just like you who are using the Smart Money secret to fix their credit and learning what it's like for the first time in their lives to be completely debt-free. Inside, you'll be supported by people just like you who have already raised their scores by up to 165 points in 30 days and cleaned up their credit for good. You can read their stories and chat with them directly while getting help with your own current situation. Then each week, you'll receive new access to the most powerful, safe, and legal money and credit hacks available anywhere, including simple tricks on how to live like a millionaire on a $1,000 budget. These amazing new money hacks include how to get out of check systems so you can have a bank account again, the easiest, fastest way to get rid of a tax lien, repossession, and even a past bankruptcy, how to increase your purchasing power by up to 2,100%, how to get first-class international flights to anywhere in the world for free, how to finance 2 of your dream cars at the same time, how to reduce your car insurance payment by up to 54%, how to make sure you avoid fake credit report companies that give you fake scores, how to get inquiries removed from your credit history. Normally, every time your credit is checked, your score goes down, but not anymore. How to get negative credit marks removed and even get paid for your troubles. Scott himself received a $1,000 check and an apology letter from one of his creditors. How to get 3 brand new good credit lines in one day. How to get business credit cards even if you don't own a business. How to manage all of your new credit cards and loans after you use my secret to get the negatives removed. Hint, certain types of cards are much better for your score, and the amount you pay each month greatly affects your score as well. How to get a check from me to you for simply referring a friend or family member. How to get free shipping from your favorite stores every time, and much, much more. Access to the Smart Money Club is for people who are looking to live the good life on a shoestring budget and finally experience for themselves all the finer things in life that previously only wealthy people could do. You get all this and more when you order your Smart Money secret right now. So now you may be wondering, what's the catch, Jay? I realize opportunities like this don't come around every day, and when they do, there's usually a catch. So I don't blame you if you think this offer is too good to be true. But I'm happy to tell you that with the Smart Money secret, there's absolutely no catch, no obligation, and no risk to you whatsoever. And to prove it to you and show you how confident I am the system will work for you, I'd like to offer you my double guarantee promise. First, try the Smart Money secret out for 30 days, absolutely risk-free. Use it to remove as many negatives on your credit report as you want. If you find for any reason, or no reason at all, that this doesn't work exactly as I described, all you have to do is send me an email to jhannon2@gmail.com, and I will personally see it to you. You're refunded every single penny of your investment. No questions asked. But since I want to make this a complete no-brainer and make absolutely sure you don't miss out on this amazing offer, I'd like to do something crazy and take this guarantee a step further. Here's what I'm going to do. Grab your copy of the Smart Money Secret today. If in 90 days from now you can show me you've used what's inside and haven't removed at least 3 negative marks from your credit report and raised your credit score by at least 70 points, I'll give you double your money back. You read that right. Who else is willing to put their money where their mouth is like that? No one. But that's just how certain I am this will work for you. Now, the price here isn't important because when you think about the value of living your life with a peace of mind, knowing your debts have been wiped clean from your credit reports, and discovering the secrets to living a life of wealth and abundance without having to increase your income, well, can you really put a dollar value on that? But before I let you in, you have to promise me one thing. You see, this method works, and it works well. It works so well, in fact, that if someone were to use it in an unethical way, they could technically use it, max out a bunch of new cards, never pay them, use it again, and so forth. I want you to know right now, I absolutely 100% do not approve of this. If your intention is to use this system to purposefully defraud the credit companies by wiping debts off your credit report and then opening up new credit cards and loans that you can't pay back, and simply because you know you can use my secret to wipe them away again, that is not okay with me. If that's the case, then you could just go ahead and click the back button on your browser right now. I'm very serious about this. You must agree you will use this powerful method only for good, not evil. This is all about giving you a second chance. If that sounds fair to you, then you can get in right now and grab instant access to the Smart Money Secret and all your bonuses for just $49 today. That's all it takes for you to be on your way to beating the credit companies at their own game and finally freeing yourself from the stress of negative credit for good. For less than the cost of a dinner for 2, you can be on your way to the financial stability you've always wanted. holding your head up high as a proud member of the 720 Plus Club, and being treated like royalty every time you want to finance something new for yourself, or when you go out to dinner and pay for it with your new Platinum credit card. But listen, you need to act right now if you don't want to miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We are pissing off some very high-powered people with a lot of money by exposing this stuff, and this video will likely be taken down soon. Now that you know the truth about why you're in the situation you're in and how you can get out of it, it's your responsibility to make it happen. We've done our part by giving you the fastest, easiest, legal, and proven way to get out of it. All you have to do is follow the instructions and watch your credit score and confidence rise. Chances are you had no control over how you got into this situation in the first place, but now you finally have control of how to get out. Because right now, you have two choices in front of you. One, you can forget everything I just told you. You can leave this page hoping somehow, some way, those calls will stop and your debts will be magically erased. Go on doing the same thing you've been doing and ignoring the problem until it's too late. Or, number two, you can step inside, grab my credit secret, take the first step toward a new life you truly deserve. One where you have no debts, no guilt, where no one is calling and harassing you to pay your bills. A life where nothing you want has to be out of your reach ever again. Now, thanks to the Smart Money Secret, your past no longer has to dictate your future. So grab your key and unlock the door to a life you've always wanted right now while you still can. Right now, below this video, you will see a big button. Click that button, and you'll be taken to a secure page where you can complete your order and get instant access to the Smart Money Secret. You don't have to wait for anything in the mail. You'll get access right away, and your information is 100% secure. You can be on your way to fixing your credit in less than 5 minutes from right now, and watching those negative credit marks disappear in just weeks from today. Grab your copy of the Smart Money Secret now and start finally living the kind of life you deserve for all your hard work, instead of flushing all your paychecks down that black hole of interest and finance fees. This has already worked for others like you, and it can work for you too, but only if you let it. Click the button below right now and get started. After all, if I'm wrong, you're out a few minutes of your time and a quick email to cancel. But what if I'm right? I'd like to thank you for watching this presentation, and I look forward to speaking with you personally in just a few moments inside our special members-only Facebook group. Be sure to reach out and say hello. You'll be greeted by me, Scott, Allison, and many other friendly folks who have already erased their bad credit. Click on the button now. Take the first step toward your brand new life of financial freedom. Don't wait. Do it right now. You'll be glad you did.